Hey guys, what is going on? This is Wrestlelamia, back with another episode. Wondering what the wildest news stories and rumors in wrestling are? You've come to the right place. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Corey Graves' latest Twitter tantrum, NXT main eventer moving to Raw, AJ Lee returning to wrestling, no, John Morrison shaking off the ring rust, NXT Stars at Mania, Raw Overload, JR consoles an NXT Superstar, Kairi Sane Concussion, CM Punk couldn't give a shit, former WWE Superstar in hot water with WWE. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Corey Graves' latest Twitter tantrum. Speaking of social media malcontents, Corey Graves is at it again, this time going off on fans who criticized his comments toward wrestler Kenta, who recently performed in WWE as Hideo Itami and now competes in New Japan, when Kenta posted a picture of himself on Twitter and Graves tweeted, "Did you come back to show everyone your new gimmick?" with Kenta responding, "Who the fuck are you?" Graves received the usual fan backlash on Twitter, leading to Graves going off on his detractors. Enough is enough. You are all literally the dumbest, saddest human beings on the planet. Kenta is my friend in real life. Get the fuck over yourselves for missing the joke and go back to outraging over, I don't know, anything important. Of course, it seems Graves is just having fun with his friend, who wrestled as Kenta before entering WWE, but the backlash over Graves' comments towards NXT announcer Mauro Ranallo are still fresh in the minds of fans. Consider this tweet. "You didn't respond this fast to Mauro," and Graves' response, "Why would I respond on Twitter to someone who isn't on Twitter?" In Graves' case, his obvious desire to create controversy as some sort of bad boy announcer is a double-edged sword. When Graves makes questionable remarks like his recent criticism of Mauro Ranallo, the backlash from said remarks is going to carry over to everything he tweets or talks about, regardless of an absence of malice. It's something the WWE should consider with Graves, as his expanding presence in WWE media, such as his podcast, could lead to him getting go-away heat where the fans avoid him at every opportunity. NXT main eventer moving to Raw? Rumors are getting stronger that current NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler will be jumping to Raw very soon. As noted in an earlier news video, Baszler is one of two favorites to face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 36, the other being Ronda Rousey. According to Wrestling News' Paul Davis, the rumor I heard was that they wanted Lynch vs. Baszler for WrestleMania if they couldn't get Ronda Rousey back, and Rousey has said that she is in no rush to return. With Baszler defending her championship against Rhea Ripley on the 18 December NXT and Ripley's strong push, it wouldn't surprise us to see Ripley win the belt and Baszler show up soon on Raw, perhaps even winning the Women's Royal Rumble. On the other hand, what about the possibility of Adam Cole moving to Raw? Like Baszler, Cole has a big title defense on 18 December, defending his NXT championship against Finn Balor. Could the WWE send Cole, or even all four members of the Undisputed Era, to Raw? In this case, we don't believe so, as Cole and the Undisputed Era are the Black and Gold brand's top heels and key players in several storylines. With AEW and NXT battling for Wednesday night supremacy, it would be a bad move to get rid of NXT's top four heels. AJ Lee returning to wrestling? No. With CM Punk on WWE backstage, the question of whether his wife AJ Lee might return to the ring was bound to come up. Recently, the three-time Divas champion tweeted whether there's any chance of her returning to the ring. "No thank you, I am very retired. I will, however, tag along for coffee and snacks next time I'm in town. Always down for snacks." John Morrison shaking off the ring rust. John Morrison is currently training at the WWE Performance Center, looking to remove any ring rust since he last wrestled. Morrison commented on Instagram that, 8 years since I've been in a WWE ring. Real ropes ain't the same as the cables I've been doing my stuff on since I've been away. The WWE Performance Center is epic. I can't imagine a better spot to knock off that real rope ring rust." Morrison looks incredibly fit, and while he's always stayed in shape, he's a good candidate for a future biggest WWE Superstar body transformations video. NXT Stars at Mania? WrestleVotes has some exciting news for fans of the Black and Gold brand. Heard from a well-placed source, as of now, NXT will have a role at WrestleMania. Not talking about TakeOver, but on the actual Mania card. No details as to who or what, but an NXT presence will be felt at Raymond James Stadium. If true, this will continue NXT's ever-growing presence at WWE pay-per-views, such as its inter-brand matches at Survivor Series and the rumors that more NXT Superstars will participate in the 2020 Royal Rumble. The WWE seems committed to pushing NXT as an equal brand with Raw and SmackDown, but it remains to be seen whether the WWE Universe will buy into it. Raw Overload. Are you a WWE diehard who doesn't mind sitting through 5+ hours of Raw wrestling? If you live in the Des Moines, Iowa area, you may want to hit this Monday's edition of Raw, scheduled for the Wells Fargo Center. The WWE is reportedly taping its 23 December edition of Raw following its post-TLC episode on 18 December, as the WWE wants to give its wrestlers some days off before Christmas. Wrestlelamia will also post any spoilers from the 23 December show once they become available. JR consoles an NXT Superstar. WWE superstar Piper Niven, who competes in NXT UK, was recently diagnosed with Bell's palsy and tweeted an update to her fans, including a picture of her. Current AEW Dynamite announcer Jim Ross tweeted his encouragement to Piper. "You look great, young lady. Bell's palsy is just another bump in the road for you. I've had it 3 times and our only option is to fight through it. Stay positive, you have a bright future." Kairi Sane Concussion. Whether you liked it or not, last night's TLC pay-per-view was wild, especially the main event, which saw the Kabuki Warriors battle Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, doing everything they could to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. At times, it got a little too much, as Kairi Sane looked to have suffered a concussion during the bout. She wasn't moving very well during the late stages of the match, and there were numerous occasions where she could have hit her head and suffered a mild concussion. It was particularly noticeable when Flair tried to deliver a spear but made no impact as Sane dropped to the ground. Not sure if it was a good idea to slap her afterwards if Flair knew. CM Punk couldn't give a So ever since CM Punk was signed to Fox to appear on WWE Backstage, he surely has to watch the WWE product on a regular basis to familiarize himself with the various storylines going on. Well, not quite. WWE on Fox tweeted, "We're sure CM Punk is watching this one closely," pointing to a match graphic of Rusev vs. Bobby Lashley's table match at TLC. Punk instead tweeted a picture of him watching the Chicago Blackhawks vs. the Minnesota Wild NHL game. LOL. Fox took it in good stride and replied, "There's a table there," with Punk cheekily replying, "In both cases, Minnesota is the big loser." Former WWE superstar in hot water with WWE. We're sure you're familiar with the 90-day no-compete clause, which comes into effect when a former WWE superstar has terminated his contract with WWE. If not, well, put simply, they can't compete anywhere until those 90 days are over. Of course, this only applies to superstars who have cut their contracts short, not those like Jon Moxley who simply chose not to renew his contract. This policy has been in effect for years and was mainly put in place so they could avoid such an embarrassing situation of a wrestler turning up the next week on their competition's programming, such as the infamous time Rick Rude appeared on both a taped episode of Raw and a live episode of Nitro in the same night. The recently released Sin Cara, Luke Harper, and The Ascension are bound by this and can't compete until March 8th and will basically have to sit at home and not work. However, Unico, the man who competed under a mask as Sin Cara, broke the 90-day clause as he wrestled as Sin Cara, a name trademarked by WWE in AAA. While this is an obvious breach of contract, Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer Radio recently commented on the situation, believing they could have come to an agreement, saying, "I don't know if WWE approved it or they just said, well, it could just be the mentality of, I'm doing it in Mexico, because all of that stuff, you know what I mean? The thing is that the name, you know what, they may not have trademarked the name in Mexico. It's possible they didn't. It's not in the United States. As far as the 90-day non-compete, I don't know. You know, if they thought they could get away, you know, they may have worked out a deal with WWE. I mean, more likely than not, they did." However, more recently, probably after a little more digging, Meltzer went on to say that WWE did not give him permission to use the name or the gimmick. Regarding Sin Cara using that name in AAA last night at Guerrera de Titanes, there was no deal worked out with him or WWE to be allowed to use the name. He was on a 90-day non-compete. we'll see how this transpires. This could mean that WWE could sue Unico over the breach. Like Meltzer said, this could be a deal, but if not, Unico could be in trouble, possibly fined, or his no-compete clause being extended. Well guys, there you have it, the wildest wrestling news and rumors you need to know post-TLC. Be sure to leave your comments and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time for some more wrestling content.